Well, I want to say welcome to everyone. I'll just briefly introduce myself. I'm Peter Frumkin. I'm the academic director of the Gradel Institute at New College, University of Oxford. I've been here for coming up on 2 years. I come to Oxford after 14 years as professor of social policy and founding director of the Center for Social Impact Strategy at the University of Pennsylvania. I've been working in this field with practitioners and on the research side for 20 plus years. I'm just delighted to have a chance today to tell you about what we're dreaming of at Oxford, and we'll say more about that in a bit. The Institute, just a quick background, opened about a year and a half ago. I came here to help launch it. It has these two functions, a research function and a teaching and engagement function. We have a fabulous team of more than a dozen researchers doing projects for us on the academic side. And then on the engagement side, we have a dream of really connecting through executive programs, massive open online courses, retreats, and accelerators, finding ways to connect to the world of practice. So those are the two parts of the Institute. I can say a lot more if you have questions or if you want to learn about it. We put the link in the chat, which kind of describes all the different activities and programs, but that's enough for now. Nadia, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, I'm Nadia Alamar, and I'm Chief Executive of CLAW Social Leadership, and it's lovely to have you all here today. So CLAW Social Leadership, I think I recognize a few names on the call, so you might already know this. CLAW Social Leadership is here for social leaders from all types of levels, all types of backgrounds, making leadership development, top quality leadership development, as accessible as possible to absolutely everyone working within the social purpose space. We have been around for about 15 years. Actually, it's our 15th anniversary this year, which we're very, very excited about. Worked with about 5,000 to 6,000 leaders from predominantly across the UK, but also beyond through various different partnerships. Working with people from young leaders, so new entrants into the social sector, through to experienced leaders and board leaders as well. And a lot of our work is done in partnership. And this is just another example with Peter, with the Gradel Institute, of a wonderful partnership that we have to bring leadership development to social purpose individuals and organizations. So really lovely to be here, and very happy to be partnering with Peter on this as well. Thank you.
Let me just say a quick word, if I could, at the start about why a program on leading social impact. My starting assumption is that this work is really important and it deserves the attention, kind of advancement, investment, every bit as much as the work being done in the public and business sector. I really think that spending time on building skills, building capacity, exposing oneself to new ideas, I think that's really important part of growing the capacity of the sector to be ever more effective. And so we do these programs. I've done over 50 of them at Harvard, Penn, and now at Oxford. I've worked with lots and thousands of people over the years. I spend my time on this as much or more than I do with students in degree programs, because I really feel like working with practitioners on the basic big question of how do we drive better strategy, better impact, that's a high value thing. And I think everyone who works in the sector should feel entitled and deserving of serious support and professional development. I reject the idea that this is somehow a luxury, a treat for people. I actually view it as your birthright. You're putting hard work in this sector. My goodness, why not put more investment on the most important ingredient in these organizations, which are the people? These organizations are driven by passion, by commitment, values, a strategy, but to get better at the work, you have to take seriously the commitment that people are making. So we do these programs because we think you should you should have the best quality exposure to professional development programs that the other sectors get. And we don't believe in running these as kind of halfway programs for the poor nonprofit sector. We want to do this at a high level. And so I came here, and rather than just drop in from beyond and say, I'm here to help, I thought it'd be wise to partner with the most established blue chip training operation here. So I'm bringing my ideas and my experiences, and I'm just delighted to be partnering with Nadia and CLOR Social on this program. So I think you get the best of both. You get fresh infusion of new ideas and approaches, but you also get a team that's deeply attuned to your work. So if I might, I'd like just now to say a little bit about the content of the program, at least the strategy content, and then I'll hand it back over to you, Nadia, to talk a little bit more about the leadership content. Is that fair? All right.
Sounds good.
So on the strategy, effectiveness, innovation side, those are the things I'm passionate about. What we want to do is have a program that delivers applicable, usable knowledge, meaning it's sophisticated techniques and tools, but it's designed to be able to be implemented and driven right into your work. That means we're going to show you ideas and frameworks and ways of thinking about topics as broad as performance measurement, planning, governance, marketing, risk analysis, you name it. We're going to cover a lot of different topics. But in that work, we're going to give you tools to apply to cases and examples, but then we're going to help you drive it into your own practice and your own work. That's the approach we're most interested in. And so we are focused both on the front end, which I would describe as the period when you're defining and planning and imagining programs. And we have terrific, I think, ideas and tools for you on that front end, but we're also going to focus on the back end, the work that happens after implementation as you start to measure and as you start to scale and develop programs. So across both sides, we want to give you a fresh and hopefully very useful and practical way of doing your work more effectively, both internally for your audience of staff and board members, but also externally for stakeholders, funders, regulators, the external environment also. So we have a mix of content planned. I would say it's heavily focused on this kind of question of what ways can you develop to look at the deep kind of questions about getting better at strategic planning, strategic thinking around your programs. But that's not the only part of the program. So there's going to be a lot of content on this kind of effectiveness and innovation and strategy side, but there's also going to be a component of the program that's going to be more focused on the kind of leadership side. And so, Nadia, you want to say a couple words about that?
Sure. Yes, thank you. And Peter, you said it beautifully at the beginning. And Esme, thank you for noting that as well. Well, tools and efficiencies and all of this, wonderful. It's the people behind it, and it's the people behind it that drive social change. And so we really will concentrate within the leadership aspect, not only threaded through everything that Peter's just said, but also in its own segment as well, to look at what agile leadership looks like within the social sector. What are the different leadership styles? And also looking at ourselves, raising our self-awareness, which is critical for social leadership. We'll be leaning very heavily on CLOR Social's model, leadership development model, which all starts with yourself. Know yourself, be yourself, look after yourself. It then moves to assessing the context around you. This is very unique for everyone in their own situations with whichever issues, people or planet that we're working within. and then, of course, working with and through others, because we cannot achieve the social change we want to, certainly not alone, certainly not one organization, and absolutely not one sector. We do need to bring other people along with us. So that's where we critically look at ourselves, our contexts, the people around us, the stakeholders, further than that, beyond that, and to see how we can be more effective in leveraging all of that for the positive social change we want to see, and how we can better implement the tools that Peter's been talking about for social change within our contexts and organization.
Fantastic. Let me just add one other piece. So if there's a big component on strategy effectiveness, and I actually think, how can you possibly be effective without having strategy and good strategy tools? So that's a key part. Nadia just talked about the leadership and human dimension of all of this work that we're going to be focusing on. That's a second piece. The third piece is this big question, I think, about where do big ideas, where do innovations come from in this work? How do we get better at imagining and listening to the people we're working with to develop new programs? And so we're going to have a nice section of the program on inclusive design and the way in which you can innovate creatively and inclusively in your work. And there's an entire methodology we're going to be talking about it in that area, but also kind of opening up this question of how can you create a permanently learning organization, one that's constantly asking, how can we do this better? How can we do it differently? So innovation is going to be another key piece of it. So think about it as strategy, leadership, innovation. Those would be key components of the exposure you'll get. Now, the program, as you know, has 3 phases. It has a Oxford residential phase. It has an online kind of follow-up and extension phase. And then it has a capstone phase in London for a day of debriefing, synthesizing, and celebrating. There's a little bit of fun that's sprinkled in to the program, I have to warn you. After doing these programs for many years, I'm a strong believer that fun is an essential ingredient. So I hope that that is going to be acceptable to people. So that's in brief the plan. Nadia, do you want to say a little bit more about those other 2 components, the online and London pieces?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, yeah, as Peter said, the bulk of the program is that 4-day residential at University of Oxford. However, after that, there are more things we want to share. There are more things we'll probably want to talk about as well. So we've got a couple of online sessions, well, probably up to 4 online sessions that delve quite deeply into 2 different areas. So one is innovative financial models. Rest assured, we are not going through budgeting and what a management account looks like. This will really be more strategic. So how do we make sure that our operations, and whatever that is, whether that's a charity, whether that's a social enterprise, whether we work for government, whatever that looks like, but how do we make sure that we are running financially sustainable projects, organizations, so that we can deliver the change that we want to. So we'll delve into that from a bit of an academic perspective, but also more of an entrepreneurial. What are the new models that we could implement? So that's going to be quite exciting, as well as looking at the political context, the community context, and this program is going to be open for people, not just within the UK. So we do make sure that it is that it relates to people from across the world doing all kinds of different change in their own context. So it is about best practice in terms of policy advocacy. What is the research saying versus on the ground grassroots? What's going on, and what is the most effective way that we can see from a couple of different perspectives in those areas. So that's a bit of the online session. We'll keep all participants kind of up to date with regular communications, making sure that everyone knows where to turn up, what they can prep, and then any minimal, we all know you're very busy, any minimal homework or preparation that you can do for that. And then, as Peter said, we've got some fun to be having in London as an optional. So anyone who would like to have fun, we can do that as a bit of a celebration event at the end. And so we did say it's optional. So Peter, did you want to come in?
Yeah, I just wanted to just to iterate a little bit on that, which is that the program does have a fair amount of varied content. It's going to be challenging. Hopefully, it's going to be very useful to you. Um, at the end of the program, we are going to be delivering physical certificates in leading social impact from Oxford to everyone who completes the program. And that is something that you can hold forth as a very, very legitimate professional development benchmark credential. You would also have the opportunity to be in the inaugural group. That would make you exclusive ambassadors of this program going forward. This takes a certain amount of nerve to be the first ones in a program. So we would be delighted to have you join us, and then if it all works the way we plan it to work, then to help us grow and build the program going forward. Oh, back over to you, Nadia. Anything else you want to add before opening it up?
Thank you. I think we've covered it. You stopped me right when I was about to talk about the fun bit, but never mind. No, we will be. That's it really. It's to end the program. We'll be in London, receive the certificates, and yeah, bring it all together, a chance to connect again, but then also celebrate together. Because we're all in our own different ways doing really quite tough jobs in really quite tough circumstances, whether nationally or globally. It's a bit of a situation out there at the moment. We're really appreciative of that, and so we want to just take a moment to for ourselves, really, for each one of us, and especially for you, to come together and celebrate that the course and the program that you're doing with us. Thank you. That was it. That was it from my side.
Yeah, I think that's it. So do you want to turn off the recording? There was a question about recording. We've recorded this whole front half of the session. We're going to turn it off now,